A to the K.
A to the K.
A to the K. Hello, welcome back to the A to the K Wrestling Show, where we have funny faces and forbidden doors. That's what we're all about. And yeah, we're going to kick this forbidden door wide open, and we're going to give you our predictions.
It's hinges, mate. Off its fucking hinges. Hold on, I'm trying to make it more exciting than it actually is. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't say we're massively hyped for this pay-per-view. Nearly called it a premium live event, then damn you, WWE. But yeah,
Part of the system. You're part of the system, Carl.
I know. But yeah, let's kind of go into match number one, shall we? Which is we're going to get Will Ospreay versus the OC himself, Orange Cassidy. How'd you feel about this? Yeah.
I feel about as enthused as Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, basically. It's a weird one, this. So obviously, if you call it This Week in Wrestling, I mentioned that while obviously Will Ospreay and Dax Harwood, the match they put on was an absolute banger, I felt like if you really want to kind of introduce Ospreay to people who probably haven't seen him before, then you potentially put him with some potentially higher profile people. No offense to Dax and no offense to OC, but I don't know. Like, to be fair, I don't know who I would have even put him with. That's the thing. Like, maybe one of the guys who's in the All Atlantic tournament. Maybe.
It's like I don't want to shit on this match though. It's probably going to be a fun match, but I'm enthused by it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like we were saying, when Orange Cassidy can put on some fantastic matches. He's had great matches with Pac. He's had good matches with Jericho. So
I love how you're very careful. He's had great matches with Pac. He's had good matches with Jericho.
Yeah, well, I mean, how good can a fucking mimosa match be, or whatever the fuck they had? So yeah.
Fair point.
But
interestingly, it's for the IWGP US title, though.
It is, which instantly makes me think that Will Ospreay is retaining that sumbitch, because why would you just give it to Orange Cassidy, who's just come back after being away for ages? So, yeah, it's one of them. Obviously, not nice for Cassidy to come back as like, oh, he's made a return, oh, he's lost. But I feel like that's me personally. I think that's where they're going to go.
It'd be a bit of a shock result if he became the IWGP US title holder.
Yes, something like that. They were letters.
I said it the right order. You go back and check that shit.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm not massively thrilled for this one, but happy to be proved wrong. It's just one of them.
That's gonna be your catchphrase soon. We're gonna have to make you a shirt. Happy to be proved wrong.
Yeah, I am. I just wish it would actually happen instead of me being right all the time.
It'd be like through in marriage as well as wrestling, which is interesting.
Yes.
It would be so applicable for every scenario.
Yes. So yeah, I don't know. I think for AEW fans who are not too familiar with Ospreay's work, I think they'll still enjoy this match. I think it'll still be decent, but I think we could have got potentially a wrestling classic if they would have put him against someone else potentially. But for me, I'm going to go Will Ospreay retains.
We've got a Brit holding the US title at the moment. Do you think they're going to give it to Cassidy just to stop that happening?
Well, I mean, it's the US IWGP, like, Japanese title, so...
Yeah, so you've got a British person holding the US title in Japan.
Yeah.
You don't want to at least make the American guy have that title.
Yeah.
Not that it ever really mattered, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I can't see it, to be fair. So I'm gonna go Will Ospreay. What are you saying?
Being blind, then.
What are you saying?
I think Cassidy's taking this shit.
You realise I'm going to take whatever you say, put it as your prediction for the prediction series, right?
Wait, is this part of the prediction series?
You can't just change your mind last minute.
No, did I predict? Have I done the prediction series?
Well, it's not out yet. I'm going to put it out tomorrow.
I haven't done it.
No.
Cool. I'll throw some wildies out there then. I'm going with Cassidy.
Okay. Fair play.
I think he's taking this shit.
And people wonder why Anthony's not higher on the leaderboard.
I wonder why I'm not higher on the rankings, but I'm beginning to understand.
Interesting take.
People don't even know I'm playing this. I don't even see my name anyway.
Yeah, you'd literally nowhere to be found. I used to put you on. I used to put you on just out of like sympathy, but then you were at the bottom so often. I was like, he can just fade into obscurity. You know?
I'm playing a game like just on my own over here. I've got my own league going on.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if we have an equivalent to like the Razzies, but I think I need like a worst player of the prediction series as well. I need some sort of special award for that shit.
Yeah. I'll think of that. I've got something that rhymes with that, but I can't say that. So let's move on to the next match on the card, shall we? So this is essentially could just be titled the Mismatch Clusterfuck 3-on-3, as I like to call it.
The everything else match.
We want to put all these guys on the card, but we don't know how to put them all together without having
It's like, you know, when you put the poster up and you're like, we have Will Ospreay, Orange Cassidy, you know, Miro, Pac, etc. And then it's like, and the rest. That's what this is.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way, doesn't it? So don't get me wrong. I know that we are obviously heading towards Blood and Guts. I think that's going to be next week's Dynamite. Is where that's going to go down. So
sure, he'll update us.
Yes, I'm sure he will. But I get what they're trying to do. Obviously, you've still got elements of the JAS, even though that's quite loose because Sammy Guevara only just joined the JAS literally a week ago. So is he now taking part in Blood and Guts as well? Like, is that the plan? So you got that. And then obviously you throw in Minoru Suzuki in there for no reason.
Yeah,
really.
add Minoru Suzuki to the mix, and then your chances go down. But
yeah, it does kind of feel like that, doesn't it? And then you've just got again on the other side a massive mismatch. You've got Kingston, and then you've got Wheeler Yuta from the Blackpool Combat Club, who Kingston isn't really on the same page with anyway.
No, it's just Yuta, really.
Yeah, and then you've got bloody Shota Umino added into it for reasons.
Because you know it's Forbidden Door.
Now, I don't watch New Japan, so maybe Suzuki and Umino are having a monster feud right now, and this made so much sense for them.
Even so, even if they made sense against each other, what's the teaming about?
Yeah.
Does the teaming make sense? Do they even like each other? Know each other? It is just a mishmash.
It is. It kind of feels like one of them throwaway matches that you would just get on a TV show as opposed to like on a pay-per-view event.
You hear us, Khan? Hear us?
Like, there's not really been any build to it. Like, I know there has been build to Blood and Guts, but this feels so far removed from what I imagine will transpire at Blood and Guts that it just doesn't seem to line up at all. So, yeah. So, it's an interesting one. I'm probably going to go for the JAS contingent.
I feel like I'm deliberately oppositing you, and that's not my intent, but I'm going to go with Kingston and Yuta, you know.
Okay. Interesting one.
And I'll give you a reason for that. I think the JAS are going to take it at Bloody Guts. So
maybe. I'm trying to think who won the last Blood and Guts. Was it did Jericho win the last one, or did he lose?
No.
Is that the one where he fell through the really menacing piece of cardboard?
That bit of cardboard. It might have been the cardboard spot, you know.
Yeah. So I wonder whether like that's going to be like his bogey match type or something, because he got the win in the hair versus hair match and stuff, didn't he? So it's like
true. I think that you just made me think of that now. I think they need to playfully have a cardboard spot in this Blood and Guts.
Do you know what? I hope they do. Like,
be self-aware.
They could do with a bit more humour. I think they try and take themselves too seriously sometimes, and I get it. They want to be like a real feel, not sports entertainment product, but I miss
all
some
it
of
has
the
to
stuff
be is just a simple, quick spot where there's an actual cardboard box that he gets thrown through.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Exactly.
Just so we can all chuckle at how meta that was.
Yeah, and like obviously if it's going to be like Kingston's going to be in the match as well, so there's got to be some kind of little firework that doesn't work or something, and Kingston's losing his mind. He's just like, no, and it's like,
not again.
Yeah, just like, a little flare or something. So yeah, I'm going to go with
Rick's back.
Wouldn't fucking surprise me, to be honest. So yeah, I'm going to go with JAS. You're going to go with Kingston, Yuta, and Umino. The next match to talk about, again, another triple threat-ish type thing. This time, 3 tag teams. So this is a winners take all match, Anthony. So we've got the Ring of Honor tag team champions in FTR. We've got the New Japan champs in Jeff Cobb and Great OKhan. And then we add Rappongi Vice into the mix for no reason, because they're not holding any belts. So it's winners take all, except so you've got nothing to take from them. Yeah. What are you gonna...
Almost feels like maybe, I don't know, the current AEW tag titles should have been on the line as well, and then winner really would have took all.
Yeah, like that would have made more sense, right? Wouldn't it? Because then it's tag champs versus tag champs versus tag champs. But never mind. Yeah, again, I'm not really massively excited for this one. Like, I feel like Rappongi Vice probably don't belong in there. I get why, because there's obviously stuff in Japan that's happened that links it and stuff, so that's fine. But I think it would have just made more sense to be tag champs versus tag champs. And to your point, if you would have put Young Bucks in here instead of Rappongi Vice, instantly you've got a much more intriguing match, because then it's like three sets of titles.
It lives more up to the concept of winner takes all as well.
Well, exactly. So, but yeah, for me, it's got to be FTR, hasn't it?
Yeah, like, I'm with you on that one, to be honest.
You know, it's. Or does it? Do you know what? I'm just thinking.
Or does it?
I'm thinking about this now, because it is the ring.
Just because I agreed with you, jeez.
It is the Ring of Honor titles, isn't it? So I don't know whether FTR might now go into.
I'm so cursed in the prediction series that because I agreed with you, like, oh no, maybe I'm making the wrong choice.
No. But if you think about it, Young Bucks just won the tag championship. So do FTR drop the Ring of Honor one to go after the AEW ones? Because
we never know the extent of the relationship here for Tony, but you got a question as well. Like, Ring of Honor belts are his belts; he owns Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
So, dropping him to either of the other two means that he's going to have some sort of contractual relationship or trust, at least, for the Ring of Honor belts. So I don't know how it's going to work in that sense. I'm not saying FTR should win because they are signed to AEW, but you got to wonder like what the deal is if they're not going to.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose somewhere, because like New Japan will have to concede their titles up to FTR. So if the part of the deal is then FTR have to go and work Japan, then that would make sense because they're getting FTR over there. So
that's where, because we're like, even looking at like the first match, going back to Ospreay and Cassidy, like that is the benefit of the any of the Japanese titles going to an AEW guy. That the deal has to be that they put some time into New Japan.
Yeah.
Like New Japan interested in Cassidy's shenanigans, and therefore they'd want him. Similar, like you say, if FTR win it, then they put some New Japan time in, and I think FTR would be quite up for some New Japan time as well, to be honest with you.
I'm up for some New Japan time. Sounds fantastic, to be fair.
Oh yeah. There's loads going on. Awesome.
Are you up for some New Japan time? So yeah, actually, I'm not going to change my mind then. I think FTR, probably based on the fact that New Japan need to get something out of this co-produced event. So maybe it's you get FTR.
The trouble is, it's difficult, isn't it? Because they get something out of it in terms of stars showing on their show, but then they've had a lot of their wrestlers losing on this pay-per-view, so you've got to balance it as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a very good point. That, to be fair, I'm going to say FTR for now. That might change. So let's see what Dynamite brings tonight, shall we? But yeah, I'm going to go FTR at the moment.
Cool.
So the next one, we're going to crown the first ever All Atlantic champion, Anthony. We've got Miro taking on Pac, taking on the winner of the match tonight between Malakai Black and Penta, versus, I believe, it was Ishii has already won it from the New Japan side. So, like, this one could be interesting. Like, imagine, AEW creates a new belt and it goes straight to New Japan. Like, that would be unforeseen.
I mean, do you expect that? Or, like, let's say Tomohiro wins, does he spend some time in AEW? And it's like almost like a transfer of talent for a little bit. FTR are over there doing their thing. We got Tomohiro defending the All Atlantic belts over here.
Could be. I mean, the thing is, on the AEW side, it's so stacked. Any one of them deserves to win it and could win it, So,
yeah.
You kind
of. I was leading with my desire, didn't sound right. But if I were going with what I wanted, I would want Miro to take the belt here.
I mean, if I was to go with my heart, I'd pick Pac. If I'm going with my head, I'm thinking Miro.
Pick Pac?
Pick Pac. Peter Piper picked a Pac to win the All Atlantic Championship. You can't even say All Atlantic Championship. Say that right now.
No.
You can't, maybe. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'd love it if Pac won it. I think he so deserves a belt. Even like in WWE, you got the friggin'.
Doesn't sound right when you're British. Deserves a belt, that lad.
Yeah, belt him, Tony, will you? Belt him.
My gut's saying Miro.
Yeah, I do think Miro's going to win it, but I'd love it to be Pac. I think he only had the Cruiserweight title when he was at his time with the E, and he's not really...
Yeah, he's put the time into AEW and has yet to get a title from it, hasn't he? So I think it's totally right.
Yeah, Like he would be my personal pick, but I think it's going to go to Miro. He's just come back.
I just feel like you're an unseating. Pac's my personal pick.
Yes, he is. But yeah, it could go the other way, as you say. It could be Ishii, and he could, he could come over to AEW, or he could take the AEW
I think
belt
we need to keep looking at this like properly rather than going, well, what would be best for both companies? Like that's what I'm trying to be too much of a smart ass with it. Like I wouldn't even mention it Tomohiro if it went for that.
To be fair, though, you need to. That's what you got to do.
Prediction series is ruined me, Carl.
That's what you got to do, though, isn't it? Because it's the same like with like faces and heels. Like you can't have too many heels winning. You can't have too many faces. Then you put other promotions in the mix.
I've always gone with my gut, and it's served me well so far.
Yes, I'm full, full to the brim. So yeah, I don't know. Let's say Miro. I'm going to say Miro. Are you saying the same?
Yeah, I'm going with Miro, I think.
Okay. Now the next one, we kind of get a bit of a get out of jail free card because there's no New Japan contingent to consider as it stands. It's literally Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm, AEW Women's Title.
Well, I'm voting with my heart on this one. I think Thunder's going to retain. I think it's going to be a banger of a match, which is very much needed, but I think Thunder's going to retain. I don't think he's done with the title run yet.
Interesting. Yeah, it feels too soon, doesn't it? She's only had a couple of months. Has she even had a couple of months?
Well, I mean, she's been through like the Nyla Rose stuff, she's done the Deeb stuff. She's had a few opponents, but I do think it has only been a couple of months.
Yeah.
I don't know, for me, I can see why they might be compelled to put it on Toni Storm, like in terms of a fan point of view, because I think the fans are really behind her at the minute. It just feels like maybe a logical step in that sense. But I think Thunder's got so much more she can do with this title run, because this is hopefully going to be the best match she's had so far. And I don't know, I just want to see more time with that run,
Yeah, she hasn't had a load of time to actually shine in that role as she is champion. So I do think Toni is the kind of person who could beat her eventually, but I think they'd rather do it on an AEW branded pay-per-view and not like a mix.
Yeah, true. That is a factor as well. To do it on this pay-per-view would be a bit unusual potentially.
It also highlights the fact that there's no New Japan input here, or nothing from Stardom or anything like that. So interesting that there's no representation. So it leads us on to the final announced match as of this time recording. And another one, I feel it's so weird this, because we have massively skewed the AEW, haven't we? But surely they're not going to put the AEW World Title on Tanahashi.
I disagree with you here. I think this could be a big factor. Like Moxley is everyone's expecting, and he's kind of primed to be second time champ, right? But I think this could be a moment where we get, and this could be part of the deal they made, but I think we could get a bit of a shock here and have Tanahashi, and my vote is actually going to go to Tanahashi winning this,
Damn. Interesting.
Could put a bit of time into AEW as their new champion, then they'll have had a Japan star as their main champion, so you draw in the Japan viewers in theory to the AEW product a bit more, but on top of that, I think now's the time to do it, because if Moxley wins it again, that's nice, but he's not neither of them have got the belt, you know what I mean? So it wouldn't be a loss per se for Moxley in that sense. But
yeah, I mean, so my line of thinking was this was originally meant to be Punk versus Tanahashi, and Punk was never losing it. So for me, I just saw it as a like-for-like swap with Moxley and Punk. But realistically, as you've said, it doesn't mean that the outcome has to remain the same.
Well, I actually think that might add it, because if they put it on Moxley, then you imagine when Punk comes back off injury, which shouldn't be forever, he'd then have to have Moxley versus Punk, right? Mm-hmm. Or Tanahashi wins it, gives some time into AEW as their champion for what we wanted in the first place, Tanahashi versus Punk.
Do you know what I would love to see? I'm going to fantasy book the shit out of this right now, so strap in, right? What I want to see...
Kurt Angle comes up with.
So, Bret Hart, right? No. So, Jon Moxley wins. Mm-hmm. Second time, two-time AEW champ. Takes it back to the Blackpool Combat Club. Bryan Danielson, a little bit jealous. We break up the Blackpool Combat Club. We get Moxley and Danielson. Danielson wins it. Punk comes back to face Danielson to reclaim what's rightfully his. Probably will never happen, but I can
That
see it
could
going that
work.
way.
That could work. And I don't want to. I'm not disagreeing with your fantasy booking here, but in terms of the predictions, I'm going to go with Tanahashi.
Okay, I'm going to go with Moxley. I just don't think that even Tony Khan is crazy enough to put his promotion's belt on someone from New Japan that the majority of his audience has never heard of.
It's so crazy, it just might work.
So that's my thoughts. So that's what's been announced, right? So at the time of us recording, this stuff hasn't been announced, but it's been alluded to, right? So Jay White seems to
I'm
be...
surprised. I thought we had a match announced for Jay White. I'm surprised he's still in the unannounced category.
We do and we don't. So it's been announced that Jay White's going to defend his belt. It's not been announced who against, right?
Right.
Now, originally, Okada lost the belt to Jay White, but Hangman called out Okada while he was holding the belt.
Right, and we had all that. Yeah, I remember this interaction now, because wasn't there a suggestion that, it could get Hangman Okada, but then Adam Cole stepped in the mix, right?
Yes, and now I think Jay White has taken out has taken out Hangman Page, the last kind of episode. So yeah, I think obviously Jay White took out Hangman Page, and we essentially are setting that up then. But I don't know where Adam Cole gets added into the mix. You could do another big Papa Pump Samoa Joe reference here, but
add Adam Cole to the mix.
But apparently he seems to be injured anyway, so I don't know whether he'll be involved just on the sidelines or what. But
by all accounts, he's just not got enough muscles, so who knows?
Well, according to Booker T, yeah. So I don't know. I think we are going to get Jay White versus Hangman Page. I think Jay White will retain. He's only just won the belt, so I think that'll be.
I'd agree with you on that.
Chalk that one up to the New Japan guys. So I think that will be announced. That will happen. Now the other one. So Danielson is set to talk on AEW tonight. He's got one of those Danielson talks segment that Sting had for about 6 months.
Let's not forget Punk's. The amount of times Punk talked.
But it's advertised that he's going to address Blood and Guts and Forbidden Door. So a lot of rumours were saying that essentially the plan was to do Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr., which is a dream match for many. But if he is injured or he isn't cleared, then that obviously isn't going to happen. If he is cleared, then how do you set up that match in less than a week till it takes place and make it super meaningful? So do you save it? What do you do?
Personally, I think the logical thing for them to do would be to save it for Bloody Guts.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. Because I don't know whether they will allow Zack Sabre Jr. to come over for not Forbidden Door, essentially. But I also don't know whether Danielson's going to be cleared. He might need some time off or something like that, so we might just not even get the match for a while. Obviously,
I don't know. If it's a money match, I could see New Japan allowing it. Forbidden Door or no Forbidden Door, there's obviously a working relationship there.
Yeah. I mean, it's annoying because obviously we'll know tonight, hopefully, in terms of what's going to happen. But as it stands, we don't know, and I've got a feeling that he's not cleared. In which case, we won't be getting it. Now, the only other things to talk about. So, no AEW tag titles on the line. Obviously, Young Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, we've mentioned earlier where they should be placed. I just don't think we're going to have them at all.
No, which is be kind of mad not to have the Young Bucks there when they essentially left New Japan to start AEW. Like, the story writes itself. But okay. And then you've also got, obviously, does Kenny Omega make an appearance here? He's obviously synonymous with both companies.
This is where I think maybe we'll get Bucks and Omega in terms of being around or something happening, but I don't think there'll be matches per se. I don't think Omega. I think we'll see Omega. He might rock up, but I don't think we'll see him in a match.
Okay. Do you think this could be the catalyst for the Bullet Club shooting the shot and essentially setting up something with the Elite?
Maybe.
Because it feels like, obviously, they're doing this kind of cross-promoted event. You kind of feel like it's going to kickstart something. And typically with AEW pay-per-views, when you get to the end, something big tends to happen.
Yeah. I think Bullet Club versus Elite would be a good thing to lead into at the end of Forbidden Door, to be fair.
Yeah. I think for me, though, that's where it's kind of is interesting. Unless they put Moxley and Tanahashi on as not the last match, and instead they go with Hangman versus Jay White, and then we have something with, Bullet Club, Switchblade, Elite, all that kind of thing ends the show.
Yeah, I take your point, because you'd need to end the show with all that. So, yeah, you can't have Moxley on right before it.
No, so
right.
That might give more kind of, credentials to New Japan by putting one of their titles on last, for example. So,
yeah, I like it.
Indeed.
You've just booked it, Carl. Nice.
Booked the territories, all done. Interesting. How are you guys feeling about Forbidden Door? Let us know in the comments. Do you agree with our predictions? Do you think we're full of shit? Both. Maybe in some
just about Forbidden Door, by the way. We're not opening the fucking gate here.
Yeah, come on, don't make personal attacks now. But yeah, obviously it's a shame we always record these on a Wednesday because we miss out on Dynamite, which happens when we go to sleep. But yeah, let's see how on the money we are. And obviously, if you take part in our prediction series, that's going to come out either tomorrow or Friday. So make sure you get your guesses in. And until next time, we'll leave you with the one and only Griff Garrison. Just say goodbye.
Hey, Griff.
This is Griff Garrison, and you're listening to A2theK.
A2theK.
A2theK.